England face North Macedonia tonight, having won their Euro 2024 qualifying group and all but assured of a place in pot 1 for next month's draw. However, they'll be looking to improve on a lacklustre display in Friday night's 2-0 win over Malta. For more, let's cross live to Skopje now and speak to our senior reporter, Rob Dorset. Rob, thank you for joining us. On the eve of the game then, Gareth Southgate said he wants to make England the world #1 side. Quite an ambition.
It's a heck of an ambition, isn't it? But look, England aren't that too far away from that mark, you have to say. Listen, you can see it's a glorious day here in Skopje. The England fans are here in their numbers. They're enjoying this weather. They're queuing up, as I speak to you right now, a couple of blocks away to try and get their tickets for tonight's game. And they will be hoping, like Gareth Southgate, that the calendar year for international football of 2023 and Euro qualifying ends on a high with a handsome victory out here for England. That's what Southgate says is his priority, but he also was asked about the ambition to try and top the FIFA World Rankings, because the top 5, as you read them right now, are Argentina, of course, World Cup winners, France a second, World Cup finalist, makes sense, Brazil a third, then England a fourth, and Belgium just behind England in 5th. But interestingly, Brazil lost their last 2 matches against Colombia and Uruguay, so there's a gap there for England to leapfrog over Brazil and get into 3rd for the world rankings. But Southgate wants to go further than that. He's told the newspapers exactly what he thinks, and we can show you what he said right now. He said, if you're going to be the top-ranked team, there's no room for sloppiness or casualness. That's got to be our drive. Qualification's done. With the games at the weekend, we might be ranked 3rd in the world, but we're 2 places off where we need to be, so we can't waste games. He says if we're going to be a top team, then the level of performance has got to be spot on every time. So that's Southgate's message to his players today. I expect him to pick a very strong side, and he expects no taking the foot off the gas just because England have already qualified and, as you say, are pretty much guaranteed to be in pot 1 for the seeds for the draw for next summer's Euros when that's held in Hamburg on December the 2nd. By the way, England would have to lose 11-0 here tonight if they're not going to be one of the top seeds. So I think the England manager is quite right when he says that's done and dusted.
Yeah, that would be quite a night for you, wouldn't it? Certainly. Let's talk about the match later then. Left back is maybe the biggest question mark for Gareth Southgate. Kieran Trippier obviously withdrawn from the squad. What are the chances then of Rico Lewis getting his first cap?
I think he's got a good chance. It's certainly something the England manager is considering because, as you say, Kieran Trippier, who's deputised so often for England at left-back, has withdrawn from the squad after the game against Malta because of personal reasons. Luke Shaw and Ben Chilwell are missing through injury, as is Levi Colwill, who's played there for England the last few times as well. So he's really struggling at left-back. There's not a left-footed defender in his ranks in this depleted squad of 21, you have to say. And so Rico Lewis has played there in his career before, although he's never played there in the 19 Premier League games that he's played in his fledgling career. And it would be a heck of a big shout, wouldn't it, from the England manager to throw an 18-year-old in for his senior international debut in a pretty hostile environment here in North Macedonia in front of 30,000 plus fans, out of position, on his weaker foot at left-back, when he hasn't played there at all for Manchester City this season. In fact, he's played a defensive midfield role under Pep Guardiola for pretty much entirely this season. So, yes, it's something he's considering, but Fikayo Tomori started at left-back for England at Wembley on Friday night. Didn't do great, I think. He struggled a little bit. Again, he's not naturally left-footed, and he got the hook on 45 minutes to be replaced by Trippier. Mark Gay is another option that could play there. But whichever way you look at it, it's square pegs in round holes for the England manager trying to fill that left-back spot. But young Rico Lewis at the age of 18 is certainly one of those options.
Yeah, he is. Injury issues elsewhere for Gareth Southgate as well. Just a 21-man squad to choose from for the game. So any changes elsewhere in the team as well that we can expect?
Look, I think Southgate will go as strong as he possibly can in this game, and we've basically called it a dead rubber, haven't we, in our analysis so far in this piece, and it is to all intents and purposes, but the England manager won't see it like that, and he stressed it to his players and he stressed it to us in the media as well, that he thinks this game really matters because England have only got one more international camp in March with those friendlies against Brazil and Belgium before he has to pick his squad for the Euros. So that's first and foremost. But he also, as we've mentioned, wants to try and become #1 in the world. So they have to keep that momentum up of victories. I think as well there's a bit of pressure on him and the team because of that pretty lacklustre 2-0 win over Malta on Friday night. This game will linger in the memory for some time because England don't play again for another 4 months. So he wants to win and win handsomely. So expect Harry Kane to lead the line. Expect it to be Harry Maguire and Mark Gay probably in the centre of defence. We know that Declan Rice is coming in to bolster the central midfield. Expect Kyle Walker on the right, probably Bukayo Saka ahead of him on that right wing. It's pretty senior wherever you look at those players that we're talking about. So I don't think it's going to be a night too much for experimenting for the England manager, unless England are winning and winning comfortably. Then we might see Rico Lewis and Ezri Konsa coming off the bench, assuming Lewis isn't in the side from the start, and maybe another run out for Cole Palmer after he came off the bench to make his England debut against Malta. So yeah, we're still trying to find out a few more details about the team and see if I can glean anything from my contacts who are being pretty quiet, I have to say, today out in Skopje. But if we get any more, we'll keep you posted on Sky Sports News. But I think what is fair to say is the England manager will go strong. Expect him to put out his best side as he tries to end the international calendar of 2023 with a big convincing win here.
Yeah, let's hope for better than Friday, certainly. Rob, thank you. More now then from England. Gareth Southgate has played down any suggestions that this evening's game against North Macedonia could be his final qualifier in charge. Southgate's contract comes to an end after the Euros, but the England boss is focusing on the here and now rather than his future.
Performance is the priority. We've set a standard. We didn't reach that standard on Friday. We have to get back to what we're good at. There's always a chance within that to have a look at a couple of things that we'd like to see as well. But the biggest thing is making sure we hit the level of performance that we've set ourselves.
One major selection dilemma facing Southgate this evening is in defence. There are no recognised left-backs in the squad, and Kieran Trippier, who has played there before, withdrew yesterday for personal reasons. Fikayo Tomori started there on Friday, while Mark Gay is an option. But 18-year-old Rico Lewis has also played there for Manchester City before, so could he win a first senior international cap? Or will it be a complete change of formation?
We haven't got somebody that is playing there regularly, but we've adapted it to lots of situations over the last few years, and but we're comfortable with doing that again tomorrow.
And might it involve a change of formation?
That is an option. We've obviously got players that have played as wing-backs. We can adjust. We've got, of course, Fick, who did it the other day, Rico Lewis, Mark Gurr, he can play across there. He's done that before us in a game before. So it's just making sure that everybody's aware of their job. It changes the way maybe you build up patterns and those sorts of things. But yeah, we're comfortable with the situation we've got.